As you can see here, I reduced down the amount of padding that I'm using on my div. If I flip back over to my code, there we go. I reduced it all the way down to 10 pixels on all four sides there for you. Okay, now I want to address the next property, which is going to be our borders. So we're going to set up borders on the sides of our object, in this case, a div object. So let's go and take a look at the code. Now, there's a long way to do this and a short way to do this. Again, longhand and shorthand. I'm going to show you the longhand first. Bear with me. It's always good to know the longhand so you understand exactly how it works. And then I'll speed it up a little bit here for you in just a minute or so. You don't have to do this on your side, but I'm just going to give myself a little bit of extra room here inside my bulleted list ID selector. Of course, this is where I'm going to go and throw in my property, right? On the ID selector that's controlling that div. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm going to do here is there's actually three settings that we can use when we're applying a border. We have the border color, we have the border style, and we also have the border width. So let's take a look at each in turn. Type out border-top because I'm targeting the top edge, the border that I want to have appear across the top edge of my div or my object. So border-top-color, just like this. And then full colon space. And then go ahead and throw in a color. You can throw in a hexadecimal color value, or you can throw in a named color, whatever you want. Maybe I'll go with black here, just a named color, and then follow that with a full colon. Then I'll hit enter on my keyboard here just to break this down onto another line here for you. So there's the color. Now, what about the style? Well, I'm going to go border-top. Again, I'm targeting the top here. And then style, just like this. And then full colon space. Now, there's a whole bunch of different styles that I can use. There's a whole pile of them. Maybe in a few minutes, I'll show you all the different styles that we can use, but I'll keep it simple here to get us started. I'm just going to go with solid. So go ahead and follow me along there. And then there's one more, don't forget. We're going to go border-top-width. Okay, so the thickness of the border. And once again, there's a few different values I can use. I think for now, I'm just going to use a pixel value just so we can see this on screen. I'm going to use a fairly large value, 5 pixels. I want to have a pretty obvious change on screen to make sure that this is actually working. So there we go. So I'm going to save all this up and then flip back over to my browser and refresh. And there we go. Now we have this black border appearing all the way across the top of my div element. Wonderful stuff. Now, the good news is it worked, which is great. The bad news is now if I want to have that same border on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, and also on the bottom of my div, that means we're going to have a heck of a lot of code. So I'm not actually going to go all the way with this, but let me show you what you would have to do. Is now that I've specified border-top-color, border-top-style, border-top-width, I'd have to repeat those three values, those three properties, for the other three sides. So I'd have to go border-bottom color, border-bottom-style, border-bottom-width, and then the right, and then the left. So I'm going to wind up with a ton of code here just to pull off a border. It's kind of involved. Let me show you at least what this might look like. I just selected those three properties and pasted them here just to, again, try and speed things up here a little bit. And I'm going to change the top to bottom on each of these guys. And my width. There we are, something like that. And then save that up and then back over to the browser and refresh. And there we go. Now we have this border running along the bottom as well. And maybe for good measure, I'll do this 2 more times, one for the right and also one for the left. So give me a moment here. I'll get this happening here. So this will be my right. As you can see here, we're winding up with a lot of code. And there's a much more efficient way to pull this off, which of course I'm going to show you. And originally I wasn't going to go all the way with this, but I kind of thought, what the heck? Let's actually do this so you can actually see. Okay, so all of this code, all of these CSS properties are working together to give me this result where I now have a black border appearing all the way around all 4 sides, right? Now, the real drag here is if I go, oh, I set this border to 5 pixels. I actually wanted it to be 3 pixels or 2 pixels or 10 pixels or something like that. So that means I have to go back to my code and then look for every single instance here of border-width whatever side it is, dash width, and change that pixel value again, maybe from 5 down to 3, right? And I've got to change each one at a time. Not exactly efficient or economical, but it is possible. It is workable. Okay, now I've introduced you to this idea of working with borders. This is how we apply the borders using longhand, CSS longhand. I definitely want to show you how we can trim down our code and work much faster. So let me get into a little bit of CSS shorthand with you.